Hi, hello everyone. My name is Cici. So welcome to the 7th Live in the Zoom event. So let's get started. Let me share the screen with you all. Okay. Okay, as you can see from the flyers, today's topic is travel tips from experienced traveler. It's the 7th IS Bingo Challenge Live in the Zoom event, and the event is going to take place from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So welcome again. Please enter your name and email address in the chat bar. This will serve as our attendance checker. And also we will record this Zoom section, and the recording will be uploaded to the UCI International Center YouTube channel right after that. And so feel free to chat back if there's any need. And also there will be evaluation at the end. So please stay until the end to fill this evaluation out. Okay, so after that, I'm going to introduce myself. As I mentioned at the beginning, my name is Cici, and I am the third year econ major student at UCI. I'm also serving as a social media engagement intern at UCI International Center. So today, I'm going to co-host with Emily Huang, who is a programs intern at UCI International Center. Okay, so if you can see from this page, at the right, there is a bingo card, IA's bingo challenge card. And so as I mentioned at the beginning, this event is is part of the IA's bingo challenge program. So if you are here to attend this event, you will have the chance to fill up the box at the left bottom of the bingo card, which is called Live in the Zoom Travel Tips. And after that, together with other box that you finish, once you complete one bingo line, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, you will be having the chance to fill out the winner verification form. And from there, just wait for the correspondent from the International Student Advocacy Officer, and you will be able to claim your prize after that. And a small secret that I want to share to you guys, a small thing I want to share to you guys is the prize is the free combo meal from In-N-Out. Okay, so after that, let's go over the quick overview of the topics that we'll be covering today. We'll be talking about flying related tips, money saving tips, and tips on traveling in a foreign country. And there will be also a short quiz game and discussion of all things travel at the end. Okay. Ooh, so let's start from the long haul flying related tips. A little bit background about myself is I am an international student from China, and I have been studying in the US for 6 years. And during the time period, I have been traveling back and forth between China and US. And for most of the time, I will travel nonstop, which I fly directly from Los Angeles or any other place to my hometown. But sometimes in order to save money, I will also travel a multiple stop because usually it's cheaper in that way. So because of that, I have the chance to go to visit different airport in different country. And yeah, and so today's tips is generally from my experience with the airport and also different airline that I travel with. It's also combined with my friends' tips too, and some research that I found online. So let's get started. Okay, so just imagine you're starting an amazing virtual travel journey with me. So you are at Irvine and you are thinking about travel internationally. You have packed all your luggage. You're ready to go. What is the first place that you're going to? What is the first thing that you're going to go? Where's the place that you're going to go? Like after you finish everything. Okay, I will wait for 3 seconds. 3 more seconds. Okay, then if no one's responding, oh, Cici just mentioned waiting it. Yes, that's a really good. That's really important, and that's a significant step in traveling. So if you can, after you pack like your luggage and you finish everything, um, it's always like nice to wait it. If it would be nice if you have the waiting materials, waiting tools in your home. If it's not, you can also do it where? Airport, right? Yes. So that leads to what I'm going to talk about right now. So the first place that we are going to go, it's the international airport. Then what is what are some international airports in the greater Los Angeles area? Okay, Kurt and Derek just mentioned LAX. Yes, LAX. So LAX refers to Los Angeles International Airport. It takes around 15 minutes drive without any traffic to get there, and it's the largest international airport in SoCal. So, and the reason why it's so popular is it has over 20 international airlines and also serve 85 international destinations on every corner of the world. So basically, you can go anywhere from there. And however, like because there's too many things going on, some people will also will like think it feels overcrowded and the terminal uneasy to navigate there, and they would like to travel from a more quiet and um, and neat airport. So now there's actually a second choice, um, which is Ontario International Airport. So it's also not that far from Irvine. It takes around an hour drive too. Um, so it's much small. It's an airport that is much smaller than Los Angeles, and even though it's small, it's actually carrying a international airline. And two things that I want to point out here is it has two international carrier, which is China Airline and Volaris Airline. So China Airline is an airline based in Taiwan, and then Volaris Airline is an airline based in Mexico. So if you ever interested in travel to Taiwan or Asia or any place in Mexico, like a very popular sightseeing a beach called Cancun or Mexico City. Excuse me. Ontario International Airport may be a better choice for you because it's very quiet and also because it only serves two international carrier, and it has like limits international flights every week. So it's usually very cheap, like much cheaper than you fly from Los Angeles International Airport. Yeah. So, and besides that, another fun fact is Ontario International Airport is actually very close to the Auto Club Speedway. If you're interested in it, you can just go to watch a game there and while you are waiting for your flight. Okay, so now you're in an airport. What is another thing they're going to do? Yeah, choose an airway, right? Choose an airway to fly internationally. So what airway would you choose? Do you know any good airways in the world? And is there any airways that you prefer? Okay, so I will start from share a video to you. Oops.
Good evening, folks. Welcome aboard Southwest Airlines Flight 372, service to Oklahoma City. Those of you that have flown us before know that we do things a little bit differently here on Southwest. Some of us tell jokes, some of us sing, some of us just stand there and look beautiful. I, unfortunately, can do none of those. So here's the one thing that I do know how to do. We're going to shake things up a little bit. I need a little audience participation. Otherwise, this is not going to go over well at all. So here's what I need, especially you guys in the front, because you know what's coming. All right, I need a beat, all right? All I need you to do is stomp and clap, and I'm going to do the rest, because I've had 5 flights today, and I just cannot do the regular boring announcement again. Otherwise, I'm going to put myself to sleep. So, you guys with me? All right. So give me a stomp, clap, stomp, clap. Come on, stomp, clap, stomp, clap. Stay on beat there. There you go. Keep that going. This is Flight 372 on SWA. The flight attendants on board serving you today. Teresa in the middle, David in the back. My name is David, and I'm here to tell you that shortly after takeoff, first things first, there's soft drinks and coffee to quench your thirst. But if you want another kind of drink, then just holler. Alcoholic beverages will be $4. If a Monster Energy drink is your plan, that'll be $3, and you get the whole can.
Okay, so I will stop here. But I think everyone has get a sense of fun and engaging. How fun and engaging the flying attendant is. So to be honest, you may also heard it in the video too. The flight attendant is from Southwest Airline. So it's just like how you watch in the video. Southwest Airline flight attendants usually serve in a fun and engaging way, and from how you can see from the video, the guy is really trying to engage everyone in the airplane into the rules to follow on the airplane. It use a rap to tell all the rules to the traveler on the plane. So you can see from there they really enjoy the company of their traveler. So that's how it make their amazing customer service. And another thing about Southwest is you will have the chance to experience the choose your own seat adventure. So what does that mean? Is instead of booking your seat either on app or also in the airport, the Southwest Airline does not do that. So if you require you to arrive to the airport within 24 hours, so whoever arrives first will have the chance to choose their own seat. So let's say you're the first one who arrived in the airport and check in with Southwest, then they won't sign you on the flight ticket, but they will allow you to go on the airplane at first, go on board at first. And if no one's there, you will be able to choose any seat that you want, which is really refreshing experience for me too. And it's called early bird check-in experience, and I really like it. Is anyone here experienced that before? Okay, that's fine, but now you know it. And the Southwest Airline also do not charge any back flights fee. So for example, if you're going to check the bag for the first and the second one, you won't be charged any fee. but like if you can see from the chart at the bottom, compared to other airlines, Southwest Airline is much so compared to other airline which need to charge certain fees, Southwest Airline doesn't really need to charge anything. And also if you're going to make any change to your reservation, like flight reservation, Southwest Airline does not charge any change fee. Not like other airline maybe charge you $200 for if you are traveling next month instead of this month. Okay, so that's one of my favorites airline in North America. And another airline that I would recommend is Air Canada. So my friend recommended this to me. It's famous for the wide seat pitch. So what does it mean is compared to the 30 to 33 inches on average for other flights, like for other airways, Air Canada serves 31 to 35 inches seat, which you can imagine you feel much more comfortable on sitting in a wider place, like, and then and so you can enjoy your trip from there. It also serves hot meal with a selection of wines and spirits. Isn't that good to just like enjoy your location, even start from the flight already? Okay, so now we finished North America. I will go to Asia. So, just to let everyone know, all the airways that I recommend here is based on the long haul economic classes, because economy class is the most common way for people to travel, and that's why I choose them. I choose this as a base rule to follow while I'm searching for any airline and while I'm doing any evaluation. And so for the Asia, I would choose Cathay Pacific. I personally really like the delicious food here. It serves great Chinese, so-called Cantonese food, but also like very authentic Western food. It also serve tons of snacks during the mid-flight. And I am a food person, that's why I really enjoy it. It also has very well-known service with the well-trained flight attendants, and which whenever you call them, they will be able to get back to you very soon. And it's also like they also like act in a very polite way and help you to solve the problem. And since Cathay Pacific is a flight company based in Hong Kong, it has really strong connecting flight service. So if you book their flight, you can expect smoother flying experience during your trip. So another airline that I recommend to fly in Asia is Singapore Airline. So Singapore Airline has been ranked top out of all the airlines in the world. If it's not at the first place, it is usually at the second or the third place. So from there, you can know like how good the impression that Singapore Airline have left for its traveler. So even though it has been really like generally very well in all of the like factors and then service, I really want to point out the customer service there. So there's actually a phrase that represent the customer service in Singapore Airline, and that is called Singapore Girls. So Singapore Girls, and the reason why we have this phrase is like the female flying attendants on Singapore Airline is usually very pretty and well dressed in the exotic costume clothing like here, and they're very well educated. And the reason why is because Singapore Airline actually goes the extra mile that they train the new recruit for 4 months, which is actually twice as long as the industry average of 8 weeks. So from there, you can see why they have better customer service than other airline. And also, I want to point out the food here is really good too. It offering up to 15 never frozen meal. And even compared to its peers, Singapore Airlines offer more legroom in economy, and they have a very key feature, and that they will offering the warm towel to the customer at the beginning of the flight. Another thing, another region I'm going to talk about is Middle East. So after traveling Asia and also North America, now we're going to a new exotic place, which is Middle East. And here it actually have two of the largest airways in the world. And the first one is Qatar Airline, and another one is Emirates Airline. So Qatar Airline is famous for the high punctuality. So it has the highest punctuality among all airways for years, according to the Skytrack Airline Reward and World Airline Award. And if you can see from the next slide here, for the long haul economy class choice ranking by the TripAdvisor in 2019, Qatar Airline has 84% punctuality, which is the highest among the top 10 airline that chosen here. So if you see, even the Singapore Airlines only having 78%, and other airline is around also around 70 or 60 or something. So Qatar Airline is really good at flying on time, and it gives great impression on the traveler that travel in their that choose their airline. So besides that, it also has a really excellent carpet environment. If you can see from here, on the seat, there's a travel kit with all the toothpaste, all the napkins, socks, earplug, which they will all provide you in free. And so you'll be able to use it once you're on board. And if you ever want to check in the restroom, they usually also offer free lotions and any other skincare products, and usually in a very famous brand. And yeah, that's the part that I like about Qatar Airways. And I also really like the Emirates airline too. And I like how it has great customer service too. So my personal experience with Emirates is like during the when I was around 15 years old, I traveled Emirates airline, and maybe it's because I look kind of young, and also there's bags of gifts for kids left on the flight. They give me a bag of gift with all the toys and notebook, which I still keep it in my room right now, in my home at China. So if you can see from the top image here, there are 4 different toys here, and those are so cute. And I really like it. And besides that, it also has a great amount of entertainment resource. So it has tons of the in-flight entertainment movie, like usually with the most update one. And so those are the service part that I like. And besides that, it also have like 4 long distance non-stop routes. So from Dubai to Los Angeles to San Francisco to Dallas and to Houston. It has the longest like distance trips with nonstop to many different places. And so booking their flight, you have more choice to choose from different like flights plan. And another fun fact about Emirates airline, it's the most popular airway on Instagram. It has 5.2 million followers. It's like a star of all the airway industry. Okay, so now we have finished covering the airways, and you have a chosen airways in your mind already. But then there's another question that's confusing you. Should I choose multiple stop flight or non-stop flight? Does it even matter? Okay, I just see Derek mentioned, yeah, it matter. You're right. So in order to make this decision, you need to consider different situation. So for example, here, when should I choose multiple stop flight? I would recommend everyone to choose multiple stop flights when you are traveling for vacation or visiting relative without carrying large luggage, because then you'll be able to like if you're doing transfer, you won't need to carry everything with you. You are free to go as you want. And also for the multiple stop flight, it usually cheaper than the non-stop flight. It might also be cost effective like plan for you too. And however, if you're going home from vacation, which you will expect to bring a lot of gift from the vacation place, or you plan to study abroad, which is just like you're moving your house and you will expect to carry many luggage. And in that situation, I recommend you not choosing that plan. And so those are the situation like for if to consider for if you should choose the multiple stop flight or no. But if you do choose the multiple stop flight, I do have some amazing airport for Airline Connection that I have been to that I want to share to you. So let's just get started from the picture directly. Yes, so as you can see here, here is a picture of Singapore airport. So Singapore airport has been famous for the inside garden, swimming pool. Yes, swimming pool, right? Yeah, thank you, Derek. And also movie theater. Even though it didn't show it here, but it really plays. It's really beautiful and efficient to watch a movie there. And the next airport that I feel is really nice is the Hamad International Airport. It's located at Doha, Qatar. So I once traveled there because I need to transfer there to China, and the whole airport is just like an art masterpiece. It's really you can see like how expensive to build all the airports, and the whole airport is fulfilled with all the like elaborate arts sculpture, like the one in the middle here, the golden bear. And yeah, so if you're ever considering to transfer in any places, I feel Singapore and Doha, Qatar is a very good place to consider. So after that, I will let Emily to introduce the money saving tips.
Hi everyone, so this is my portion of the presentation. So I'll be going over some money saving tips. So the first one we want to talk about are credit cards and debit cards. So there are certain credit cards that will help you to accumulate points and perks for those of you that really enjoy traveling. and I know this from personal experience because this is actually like the card that my dad first got when we first started flying a lot between the US and Asia, and it has accumulated a lot of perks along with like the $300 annual travel credit that you can use for like hotel stays or plane tickets. And I've listed like, a few other perks that they have, but they have many more than this. I think one of the ones that I like the most is like the complimentary airport lounge access. So you can go like maybe take a break and have some snacks and rest up with the charging stations. So those are really nice perks that they have. And they also have like other ones if you check their credit card list. So there's other cards with travel perks in this, but this is by far the most favorite one from the research that I've done online. Another thing that can help along with like credit cards that have a lot of perks is ones with no foreign transaction fees. So the one that I personally have is the Charles Schwab debit card. I opened this card when I graduated high school because they had a brokerage account, and that was when I first started investing in the stock market. But what I realized later is that this card also has no foreign transaction fees. So most normal credit cards come with around a 3% foreign transaction fee. And maybe that doesn't sound like a big deal to you, but if you spend, let's say like $100, that would be like 3 cents, $3? Yeah, okay, I can't do the math, but it'll add up, is what I'm saying. So this is something like good if you are traveling a lot. So there are also like other debit cards with no foreign transaction fees, like the Southwest Rapid Rewards Priority Credit Card and the Marriott Bonvoy Bold Credit Card. You should check with your credit card company because they may offer the service already. And one thing to look out for is ATMs. ATMs in certain countries could be fake, and they could steal your information or make you withdraw like a large sum of money. Like let's say like they only give you the option to withdraw a minimum of $100 and you only wanted like $10. That is something to be aware of because then you're carrying more cash, which makes you more liable if you are walking around and someone steals it. So try to do your research. This is something that I encountered when I was in Europe, so it may not be in every country that you're going to. This is what a picture of like maybe like a fake ATM would look like. So they put this like really realistic looking ATM machine over it, and once you slide your card in to like get your money out, they have all the information they need to like use your card for online purchases. So that's how they could steal your information. Some other tips that I have for you: the best time to exchange your currency is before you leave the country. A lot of airports in your foreign destinations have higher exchange rates. And if you do your research, you can find that local banks in your area or currency exchange businesses have a lot of cheaper exchange rates. So then you would be able to get more money's worth for the exchange. And also booking your flights in incognito mode. When you're searching on a normal search engine for flights or for hotel stays, this lets them know, meaning the hotels or whoever you're trying to purchase from, know that you're looking to travel soon. And then they can raise your prices because there's no law against this in the US. So this is something that they can do. Like they can raise the prices differently based on like who is looking or like who they think will be more willing to pay these prices. And one thing that you can do is to go on incognito or private browsing mode so that they can't see that you're searching. So if you're on Google Chrome or Safari, you can enable this feature by pressing Command Shift N. And if you're not on the Mac, it would just be Control Shift N. So it would look like this. It would tell you like you're on incognito mode. And another thing I wanted to go over are Airbnbs versus hotels. So I think there are, pros and cons to either one, and a lot of factors can play into this decision of which one is better for you. So some things that you should consider are how long are you going on your trip? Because if you're only going very short stay, I feel like hotels may be easier for you because you're not staying very long and you won't be in your hotel room for very long. But let's say you're going on like maybe 2 weeks trip. it might be nice to have like an Airbnb that has a lot of amenities, like, you know, like a washer, kitchen, so that you can cook your own food, things like that. And then you could also be considering how many people are you traveling with. If it's just enough, like maybe you're going with you and your best friend, you could easily just get one hotel room and that would be it. But if you're traveling with maybe 10 people, that would be at least like 5 hotel rooms. And then at that rate, it might be cheaper for you to just split one Airbnb that's pretty large. And then location, does that matter to you? Most hotels are in viable conditions, meaning they're very close to the places that you want to visit. And that if you want to live closer, hotels could be a better bet for you. Derek just said hostels could be a very cost-effective option. Yeah, I agree. I stayed in quite a few of those over the summer. Those are also an option if you don't mind living with like other people, like strangers. So I just think it's a little bit blurry, but I hope you guys can kind of see like there are pros and cons for each one. I think it just depends on where you're visiting and what your needs and your circumstances are like. So yes. And then this is just a little graph showing like the average room price per night. So if you see in like the gray bar is a hotel stay and then the blue is Airbnb. So depending on like what city you are, this can be like a very drastic price difference, or it may not be very much at all. It just depends on where you're visiting. So another tip that I have for you guys are to check out free tours, because they can be really great at providing you more context on the place that you're visiting. So a lot of places have free walking tours and they're led by volunteers. So, and they only ask you for donations at the end if you have enjoyed the tour. They're not mandatory to be paid. I discovered these when I was in, I think, London over the last summer, and I was staying at a hostel, like Derek mentioned. And it was, they come to the hostel and they put a lot of flyers on the table if you're interested in those. But you don't have to find them from there. They also have a lot of ones online if you just look them up. And I think they're like a very fun and cost-effective way to visit the city by walking. Some even offer tours in different languages, and again, you can check on like TripAdvisor to see like the ratings of like which is the best walking tour. And also in a lot of countries, I think museum visits are free or pay what you can. And then so pay what you can just means like they offer you the chance if you want to provide a donation to their museum to keep everything running. And it could be like maybe like $1 or $5, whatever you're able to pay, but they don't expect any money. So you could, if you're not able to, you could just like walk in and enjoy it for free. And other places give you discounts with your student ID. I think it's in general, a lot of places provide you discounts with your ID. So even if you're traveling over the summer and you know you're not in school anymore or anything, I think you should still bring your ID because it could give you a discount. I think this is the most important tip in my opinion. I put this under money saving because I think it's a pretty common problem that a lot of people face. So you should beware of pickpockets. That's like a term for thieves. So a lot of like in your crowded area, sometimes people will like accidentally bump into you and take your money or your purse or something like that. I found some different ways that you can prevent that. So the first one is a money belt tucked underneath your clothing. So it would be the picture on the top right. You see, oh wait, yeah, it is. So that one is like strapped to his leg, and maybe he puts his like a skirt on or pants on over that. So then you'll see it's like pretty secure because it goes underneath your clothing so people can't physically touch it. And then it's very secure so you know things won't fall out. But this is not my personal favorite one because then it can look pretty bulky, but it is really secure. And then another option you could wear are fanny packs worn in the front of your body. So then on the bottom right, that's just like a pretty small fanny pack, but they come in like a lot of different sizes. So you could wear it like, like across your body, like really street cool wise like that. And also, this is my personal favorite method. I personally did not like carrying a fanny pack because I felt like it wouldn't go with my outfit. So then I would use a small combination lock like the one in the picture and attach it to my backpack or my purse. And this can also be on your suitcase. So on the left is a picture of me in Paris with my best friend at the time. And I'm holding like the combination lock that I used on my trip. And this was like something that I found really useful because I could look like, stylish at the same time feeling really secure with my money. And at the end of my trip, I took off my lock and I left it on the Locks of, I think it was called Locks of Love Bridge in Paris. And that was a really fun moment for me. And now we're moving on into traveling in a foreign country. So the first thing I want to go over is language barrier. I know that's like a big, intimidating part of traveling to somewhere that you don't speak the language. So the first thing that I would suggest to you is that if you're looking, asking people walking around you for directions, I found it really helpful to have a picture of the place that I was trying to go to, or like the location's name written down in the native language. It would just make it easier. So maybe like your pronunciation isn't very good, people could still understand you by looking at a picture or looking at what you've written down on your phone. So that could be like something to have done before you leave because maybe you don't have access to internet service. And also, I think utilizing hand gestures. I think maybe like when you're at a restaurant or something and they ask you how many people, but maybe they don't you don't know how to say numbers in that language. You could be like, I have 2 people, I have, like things like that. Or you're looking, I don't know, I can't think of any other situations, but I'm sure there's like many more. And also, if you are shopping or you're trying to eat at a restaurant, there are really a lot of apps that can translate the pictures of text from your photos into your language that you understand. So then you could just take a picture, maybe like of a menu or when you're shopping of like a label on a bottle, and then that could translate it into English or whatever language you feel like is most easiest for you to understand. I just use this on Google Translate, but I know there are apps that have more like sophisticated translation from photo to text. But that's just like a really simple one that I use. Another thing I want to go over is transportation. So in some countries, public transportation is not really widely available, and you may think like driving a car will be the easiest way, but before you go, you should do your research because, sorry, my dog is barking. You should, if you want to rent a car, you may need an international driving permit called an IDP. This is not available in every single country, but in most countries, I think over 200 countries, it is widely accepted. But for instance, in the People's Republic of China, they only allow you a driver's license issued by China itself to drive legally within their country. So within China, you're not allowed to do this. But let's say like you're visiting Japan, this is super legal, especially if you want to drive like if you've seen in Japan how they have like the Mario Kart on the streets, you need one of these to drive there. So the IDP will cost you $20 and it will last you for 1 year. I know that this is like an easier way to get around for some of you that maybe you don't think like public transportation feels very like safe for you, or if you're traveling like just a group of girls or something like that, it may be easier. The subways like close at a certain time and everything. And there's also a lot of apps that can help you with getting from place to place. I'm going to talk about South Korea as an example because I've been there personally, but I think like this applies to a lot of other countries. So Google Maps and Apple Maps don't really work very well in South Korea. And instead they have Naver Map, which is able to provide, more accurate directions. So I included like the app icon picture. It's the one on the left at the bottom. And also in Korea, there are a lot of taxi drivers that will not drive you places if you do not speak their language. And this app called Kalko T, I hope I said that right, but this will help you solve that problem because you can just enter it in like where you want to go and everything. And then it's just like Uber. It basically, it connects you to a taxi driver that will take you from place to place. yeah, Kako Taxi.
Okay, so going from the apps, let's make an example of traveling in China. The apps can definitely make your trips much easier. So so as you can see from here, there are lots of local map besides those that we already noted. For example, in China, instead of using Google Map, because China banned the Google Map of using, um, we usually use Gaode Map, and this is just as an icon at the top. And this map help to keep the update of any change of the railway street really quick. So it's the most effective map to use in China. Okay, Caroline just introduced the Chinese version of Uber in the group chat. That's called Didi. Yes, that's very effective too. And also, when we are searching food, instead of using Yelp, in China, the most popular app for searching food is Meituan Dianping. So originally, those are two different apps, but since 2015, they all combined together, but they do serve different feature. So for the first icon that you see here, the orange one is the Dianping. It serves a similar version as Yelp, and around 90% of the time you go to the top rates in the app, top rate restaurant in the app, you won't be disappointed. So I use it when I travel around China. And another app is called Meituan. It's actually famous for group shopping and then group meals. So if you buying like meals in, for example, 5 people, you may have cheaper price than 3 people. And also it's very famous for food delivery. And so it takes around like 60% of food delivery markets in China. And the food delivery service is very convenient and cheap too. And now the Meituan Dianping app has been served as a super app. So from there, you'll be able to do like not just like food, but also you can book like travel like tourist guide, and also any hotels, even going to hospital, you can reserve from there, and you can also book a movie ticket there too. There will be another slide later about this. Yes, it's very convenient. And then for the flights and train and also hotel, one thing is glad to know is Airbnb works very well in China too. So if you are a foreigner and never been to China, Airbnb is a good choice. And another app, Ctrip, is a classic app for booking flights, train, and hotel in China. So if you're flying or traveling mainland China, Ctrip usually provide the cheapest flight among all the other apps. So it would be really yes. So it would be a really convenience to download one of this. And the app itself have around over 50 language that you can choose. So it's very convenient too. And yes, those are the tips for the apps. And besides that, other tips that I would say is traveling in China, high-speed rail makes your life much more effective. So high-speed rail, in China consists of networks of passenger dedicated railway designed for like speed around like 250 to 350 kilometer per hours. So it is the world's longest high-speed railway network, and it's also the most extended use. And I really like my travel experience with the high-speed rail, and the reason is like I have been using a high-speed rail ever since like around 5 years ago, and the maximum delay that I experienced is 3 minutes, which is much better than Amtrak and Metrolink that I travel through in America. And so, and the service there is very comfortable too. The train attendants is very polite, and I saw many foreigner travel with high-speed rail too. If you are travel with flight, it's usually very expensive. But if you are driving by yourself, you might feel like kind of tired. So high-speed rail is usually a good a best choice for most of the people traveling in China. And another thing that I want to mention is, I know in the US, when I shopping, like, and I'm paying by the credit card or debit card, I don't usually need to enter my passport for this. It's a big surprise for me when I come to the US, because in China, passport is always needed when you, so passport is always needed when you are shopping with the credit or debit card. And besides that, I want to mention in China, most of people will use e-pay. So it would be a feature on WeChat. So like WeChat Pay is very popular among Chinese population. And for the foreigner to use it, you may need to register for a Chinese bank, and so you will be able to use it. But other than that, I would say, yeah, all the e-pay are very convenient in China. Okay, next. So from this page, you'll be able to see the Meituan Dianping app here. It has been a super app. So as you can see, you will be able to access food delivery, travel booking, home rental, which Airbnb, and ride hailing like Caroline just mentioned, the Didi is another version of Uber in China. And then you can buy movie and show ticket there too. You can also do the charity there on the app. And it's very like a magic thing to happen. Oh, Koki just mentioned this high-speed rail in Japan too. Yes, yes. I didn't experience before when I'm in Japan, but I really I heard of this. I heard like they have really like amazing service, and it's all very clean. And another chart that you can see at the left is the market share of China food delivery. As you can see, around 60% has been taken by the Meituan Dianping app. So it's really a super app for you if you're traveling in China. Let's go to the next. Yes. So here is a picture of the high-speed rail in China. And yeah, so it's a very typical image of the high-speed rail transportation places. And then as you can see from the map here, here is the high-speed rail map around China. So you can basically go anywhere, like just by taking the high-speed rail. Let's make an example. If you go from bottom, for example, Guangzhou, if you can see it, like it's around Hong Kong. And then from Guangzhou to Beijing, it usually took 8 hours. And then from Guangzhou to Hong Kong, it usually takes an hour to be there. It's very convenient. Okay, next slide. So now it's the quiz time. We have been go over so many different things. And so it's now your time to show your knowledge in what we just mentioned. And let's get started. We will launch a poll with all different questions.
So this is the first question. All right, let's see if you were listening while I was talking. I'll give it like 3 more seconds. Okay, I'm gonna end it right now. So, in what country is the international driving permit not accepted? So, one person chose Finland. I'm not sure if it's accepted or not. I'm pretty sure it is, but the answer choice that I was going for, oh, sorry, forgot to click through these. The answer choice is C for China. Okay, let me get the next one. Okay. So, what mode should you buy your flight or hotel tickets in to save money? Incognito mode, neutral mode, hidden mode, or visible mode? Okay. So I see like most of you guys chose incognito mode, which I chose as the correct answer, but I thought two of you guys chose hidden mode, and I think that could also be a correct answer because technically they are like the same meaning. But most people call it incognito mode because that's its official name, but it does also mean like hidden. Okay, let me start the next one. All right. What is not a method to store your money safely from thieves? So which one is not the right one? A money belt underneath your clothing, inside your pocket, a fanny pack worn in the front of your body, or in your purse with a lock? So which one is not the right choice? Okay. So most of you guys got this right. In your pocket is not the best idea. It's really easy to just slip your hand in. If like maybe you've had this happen to you. I put my phone in my back pocket, like if I'm wearing jeans, and it is so easy for it to fall out if I'm sitting down, or maybe like my friend will try to take it from me and I won't even notice. So I don't think in your pocket is a very safe idea. And a fanny pack worn in the front of your body, I think is pretty secure because you can see like it's right in front of you and you can also feel it because it's like, you know, touching the front of your body. So I consider that pretty safe. Next question. So which of the following airways is most famous for punctuality? Qatar Airway, Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airline, or Southwest? This one's kind of tricky. Cici made a hard question.
Those are all good airway, but one is very famous for the punctuality.
I'll give it like 2 more seconds and then we'll reveal the answer. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll now. All right, a lot of mixed reactions.
Okay, so the right answer is Qatar Airway. Is a airway launched at Qatar, Middle East, and it's really famous for the punctuality out of all the top 10 airway rated by Travel Advisor. And for Cathay Pacific, Singapore, and Southwest, they're all good with the punctuality, but not as Qatar Airways to ace the whole thing. And then Cathay Pacific had great Chinese food and also Western food, and also good service. And Singapore is well known for this Singapore girl, if you remember what I just mentioned. That's the so they will train the new flying attendants for around 4 months, which is twice as much as the average training period for other flying company. And then for the Southwest, it's just a fun, engaging customer service, which is famous for also famous for the no change fee for the flight, and no charge for the bag, for like either first check-in bag or second check-in bag. And yeah.
Next question is, what is the most cost-effective way to travel around China? So, is it by the green train? Is it by airplane, car, or high-speed rail?
Okay, 2 more seconds.
Oops, already ended it. But let's go over the right answer.
So most of you got it right. It's traveled by the high-speed rail. So it's not as expensive as traveling by airplane, or as tired as travel by cars, because you need to drive by yourself and you also need to fulfill the oil. And another choice is green train. That's a traditional, like, classic train in China. You can still go to a lot of place by the green train, but it doesn't feel as comfortable as the high-speed rail, and it also takes longer to get to the destination. Yeah, so let's go to the next.
Let me launch. This is our last question, by the way. So, which of the following functions does the Meituan Dianping app does not provide? Does it provide food and beverage, hotels and tourism, charity, or visa service? Let's give it a few more seconds and then we'll end it.
I guess everyone voted already. Yes. So the right answer is visa service. So even though Meituan Dianping is a super app, it can serve food, beverage, hotel tourism, charity, movie ticket, and even you need to go to a hospital, you can do a reservation there. And then, yes, George just mentioned the difference between green train and the high-speed rail. It's like turtle and rabbit, and that's so true. And for the green train, you will not expect like the much comfortable service as you have in the high-speed rail too. Yeah, and yeah, so that's it. So for the Meituan Dianping app, it does not really provide any like visa service, even though it's a super app. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating on the question and the poll. And now we will have the useful resource link that I had for you if you're ever wondering how to travel in China. Here is the instruction of how to use Gaode map, and also how to use Meituan Dianping app here. And the first link here is the ranking of the top airline at 2019, and it's the most updated version. And so if you're interested in it, you can go ahead and then check it later. And yeah, so we end now, and we have an evaluation link.
Thank you for participating. We would really appreciate it if you would fill out this evaluation. It takes less than 30 seconds to fill it out. And we'll be sending the link for it in the chat bar, so you can click it straight through there, or we'll be sending it out in an email shortly after following this workshop. And we would really appreciate the evaluation that you guys can provide for us, so that we know like what's working and what you guys would like to see in the future from us. And we have a future event coming up. This is called Scribble and learn more about UCI, ASUCI. And then, so this will be week 8 Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. It's on the Zoom link is provided. It's the same one that we have for this one. And yeah, if you're interested in the topic, feel free to attend. We'd also have more of a life in the US is coming up. For instance, there's one tomorrow from 7 to 8 p.m. led by me. So if you want to see me again, I will be there. Yeah, thank you guys for attending. We really had a fun time coming up with the presentation and providing you guys with all of the tips that we've learned over the years.
Koki may have more instruction about the Scribble with and learn about ASUCI, about what they are going to go over there. Koki, do you want to unmute yourself and then introduce to us?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Koki, and I'm a volunteer at the International Center. And just like Emily said, it's a friendly reminder about the event, Scribble with and learn about ASUCI. So the International Student Advocacy Officer, Vanessa, and Intern V are going to share personal experiences regarding getting involved in ASUCI, and you will learn about their roles and job duties. So please join us for a fun game and learn about ASUCI. Thank you.
I'm gonna stop sharing. So in like the last minute, if anyone has a question or they want to ask or something that they want to talk about, feel free. We have like a few more minutes left, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, thank you guys for attending. Feel free to leave if you want to.
Okay, it's 8 p.m. right now. And I want to thank you all for joining us. Okay, I guess now just ask right now.
Yeah, it is. I think it went well. Did you stop the recording?
I see the recording.
No, you can end it.
Wait, who is the one who recorded?
It's George.
I'm recording. Yeah. Should I stop
Oh.
here? I'm stopping.
Yeah.
Okay.